Friends, welcome back. I'm out here with Cassie for another walkabout, and haven't done a live since last week. But before I get sidetracked on Gene Ho and Bruce Lee and talking about that, I want to let you all know that we just launched Grace Wave Radio. It is live 24/7. It's on YouTube and also on Rumble. But go to our sister channel now and check it out. The station is playing. You guys are going to be blessed by the music. The sister channel is Matt Savina Music, and that is on YouTube. And yeah, it's been going well. Lots of people have been watching, listening, and I'd love to see more of you over there to enjoy it. So as you can imagine, it's been very busy launching a legit radio station and just keeping the music flowing and working on it being the best of quality. And I'll share you a short story, super short story about Grace Wave Radio and how that came to be. I used to be an avid listener for many years of K-Love Radio. And while I don't want to talk negative about it, maybe I could in some other videos, but I mean, not negative, but just my perception. One thing that did bother me, I guess I do need to mention, is how over the years I noticed there were just more and more promotions and talking, and I'm not against the talking. One of the things that our new Grace Wave Radio is going to be big on is very short inspirational messages. So you will hear those, biblical inspiration. But it just became so much on there and other stations that I listen to as well, contemporary Christian, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I don't know if that's really a story, but one of the reasons why Grace Wave Radio is being brought to you to bless each of you on this crazy journey that we're all on. And I'm going to keep dropping tidbits to you guys about what's happening, what's unfolding, and how you should navigate it, because these are not ordinary times that we're all living in. Okay, so partly in this video, I wanted to give you the sort of some glimpses into what I'll be covering about the Gene Ho and Bruce Lee theory, which I totally get it. Some of you think it's ridiculous. Some of you think it's likely, possible, and some of you think it's absolute definite. And as always, just like when I covered the Bob Joyce and Elvis theory, connections, coincidences, and other things, I'm not here to convince anybody about showing you the connections, showing you what is reality, what isn't. That's all up to you. It's really more, honestly, for me, in sharing things, it's really more about just the state of our world and country and where everything is going. That makes it all very interesting. And that's a direct quote from Gene Ho. Very interesting. So, okay, so let's talk about Gene for a few minutes. Some of the things that he's said over the last, 2 to 4 years, give or take, is that his mom's name is Grace Ho. which just happens to be the same name as Bruce Lee's mom. The photos are very similar, and yeah, they say the eyes are the window to the soul. You guys can look and check it out. I'm gonna share to you guys a series of videos that will be much more very interesting than me just talking about it. But as you guys know, with Bob Joyce, when did he come onto the scene publicly? We're talking about Bob Joyce, Pastor Bob. Well, 1990 was the first album that was released officially, and you can look that up on YouTube on the, I think it's Bob Joyce Topic channel, if that's the name of it. It's the channel that all of his albums are released on. So if you look that up, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember the title right now. It's blue, cover is blue, and I think it's the one with the sky in it. Anyway, drawing a blank, but if you go to that album, that was released in 1990. Well, if you do public research into Gene Ho, one thing you will also find out is that he came onto the scene publicly in the 90s. Is that, it's like all of these things. Is it the catch-all, like, oh, no. It's just one more thing that we piece together. Another thing, Gene Ho is a photographer, and that's how he became well known, starting in the 90s with his own business, going nationwide, and then eventually becoming the president's campaign photographer in whatever it was, 2015, 2016. Do you know somebody else who was really into photography but was pretty busy with other things back in the day? Oh yeah, it was Bruce Lee. Let's see what else. I'm just kind of throwing you guys some things off the top of my head right now as Cassie is doing her usual relax at the park stop. But like I said, the longer video that I'm going to share is going to have sort of a collection of things that Gene has said, including such as, and he said in the video that he wasn't alluding to anything, some other preps that you could argue either way as well, but how wouldn't it be interesting if the president signed into law something that said any celebrities who went into hiding could come back into the public without any worries or prosecution or anything like that, because they were just trying to escape the life, that public life, and maybe they were dealing with whatever circumstances, and yeah, so like, what if that happens, right? And I think you all know, maybe some of you, most of you know, from listening to Gene Ho, George Magazine, and whatnot, that when they say things like that, it's not just to say things like, oh yeah, what if this happens? No, it's because to some extent they know what's coming. And so just like with the calendar and the map that they have told us, they've been given the tools. They've been given. What that means to you is that, what's the legal term I'm thinking of? Plausible deniability. They've been given certain tools, but there's only so much that they know. And to be honest with you, I kind of debated over talking about this for a while because I am friends with many people from George Magazine, and they're great people, and I love them. And they're sharing, they're wanting to do the right thing, and they are on the right side of history, might I add. But my intuition, discernment, awareness of everything that's happening has been going off like alarm bells. And what I mean by that is I don't just blindly follow anybody or anything, even if I think they're fantastic. Medexus, you guys know, is another company, totally on the right side of history, doing all the right things. And I love everything about them. And I'm on the corporate team as of the last 6 months or so. And so I'm glad that I'm with them. I'm glad that I'm helping George, shall we say, in my own on the side way. But where I was going with all that, excuse me, is even though I know George is doing all the right things and they're good people, when I say I don't blindly follow anybody, I mean that my intuition and discernment is working hard for all of you, whether I want it to or not. And I've enjoyed sharing the things that I've learned and seeing the things that I've seen, maybe before some of you do. And so what I'm sharing to you now is that, yes, they have been given certain tools, and we should pay attention to those because they are ahead of 99% of others on the web, on the TV, that are telling you things. And I say that with complete confidence. They are 99% ahead of everybody else in what they're sharing. However, they don't know everything, meaning the individuals. They're people, just like you, just like me, who are doing their best given the plausible deniability that they have. And when you connect those dots and see that for what it is, and recognize that we're living in such historical times with an operation going full bore in the background, and you know what kind of operation I'm talking about, then and only then can you really kind of see the big picture and appreciate it and be okay in this waiting period. So let's get back to Gene and Bruce Lee for a minute. Why are there so many coincidences like there is with Bob Joyce in that whole story? Is it mathematically impossible? And by impossible, I mean possible. Well, that is for me to not have to convince you and for you to find out. But this is going to be a great year, and that's all you need to know. And I think next year and the year after that will be great years too. This year, there's going to be, what's it called? When the president goes around and gives speeches and stuff. Not campaign things, but yeah. There's going to be that happening again this year. There's going to be a lot more things playing out, whether you like it or not, in real time, slow time. But there's still going to be lots of great things happening this year. And by the time we get to November, it's all going to be prepped where it needs to be. So, like I said, I really need to have those videos to share with you for kind of the longer video about Gene and Bruce that I want to share. But it's going to be very interesting. And I'm going to wrap it up right there. So before I go, I'll just say hello to Irma, super supporter, Miss Irma, and Irma Patterson as well, spelled differently, but hello to Australia. Yes, I remember you. Glad you're loving the channel and the music. Thank you. So check out Grace Wave if you haven't already. Grace Wave Radio on Matt Savina Music YouTube channel. If you like contemporary Christian music, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to be blessed. And yeah, you know, in my spare time, we launched a radio station. Technically last week would be the official date, even though we've had Grace Wave for a while. But our goal is to outdo what K-Love and other contemporary radio stations are doing, because I've found flaws that can be improved. And so I love a good challenge, and I challenge you all to just trust in the Lord and do your best this year, despite the waiting, despite the distractions, despite what sometimes look like really bad things happening in the world. Just take a step back and appreciate all the good things that are happening and stay grateful. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. You are welcome. 1E Graham. And yeah, I will see you all again soon. Probably, maybe next time will be just a regular video posting. So as always, make sure you're subscribed and looking out for that for the Gene Ho and Bruce Lee video. And I will see you soon. So until next time, take care and God bless.